I hope you're doing absolutely fine. Would like to welcome you all to the session once again. So it's very important, first of all, to thank you so much for joining the session. And why is this session so much important? Let me tell you what makes this session so much important for you. Hello ji, Sat Shri Akal everyone, Namaskar, Adab, all of you, Prabjot, Vicky, Ankur, Siddharth, everyone. So before I start the session, it is important for you to know. Good evening ji, good evening, thank you, I am absolutely fine. And would like to wish you all a very happy Janmashtami. So today is a very important day. It is Janmashtami today. Okay, so anyways, what is so much special about the session? Let me tell you. Today in this session, we will have multiple questions. It's like a very diverse GK or GS. What kind of questions do we have today? Let me tell you one thing. What all are the kind of the questions which you can expect in today's class? One type of question will be like, headquarters of organizations. Then you will have questions based on science and tech. So, simple science and tech questions you will have. You will have questions on dams. You will have questions on rivers. You will have questions on OPEC. So, all the things which are comprising the static GK, for every examination, they are certainly very much important. So, you have to be understanding this point very much clearly, that this session is going to be a very special session for all the people out there. And I can assure you that you won't be regretting. So stay till the end and I can assure you that you're going to gain immensely. Hello Raman, hello Punjab, hello Siddharth, all the people out there, again would like to welcome you all to the session once again. So thank you first of all so much for joining in this very session. On regular basis you are coming, and it certainly means a lot for me as well as Sharad sir. Okay. So without further ado, I'll be starting the session. Let us have a great discussion in this session as well. So would be starting this session now. So here is the first question. Now these are the types of the questions you're going to have. This is one of the many questions which we have. It says, which of the following is not a capital of South Africa? Now it's a very strange question. Why? You should be knowing that South Africa does not have one capital. South Africa is having 3 capitals at the same time. I'm sure you must have heard about the fact that South Africa doesn't have one capital, it has 3 capitals all at the same time. So it is a question based on that. So think about it and then answer. Hello, welcome Atul, welcome Rajiv. So I can see so many students out there watching the session. So please try to answer this question. Very, very interesting question this is. Good job. Which is not a capital. So let me tell you one thing. It is important for all the aspirants out there. You should know 3 capitals are there. Pretoria is a very important capital, but Pretoria is a capital. It is administrative capital. Administrative capital of South Africa is Pretoria. Cape Town is legislative capital. So legislative means parliament is there. Legislative capital is Pretoria. Sorry, Cape Town. And Bloemfontein is judicial capital. Is judicial capital. So which is left? We have got Johannesburg left, which is not at all a capital which we have in South Africa. We have to know that. So remember this thing, that in South Africa we have got 3 capitals. One is Pretoria, one is Bloemfontein, and one is Cape Town. So these are the 3 capitals which we have in the South Africa. So don't worry, you will be getting the PDFs as well. So don't worry about the PDF. Focus on the learning process. She'll be learning immensely in this class as well, like always. Got it? Chalo. So I hope you found this very question interesting, bete. So you are going to have so many questions like these. Next question. So this basically is a question from science. Applied science, I would say. So applied science question it is. What is the study of fermentation called? That's the next question. If I ask you, what is the study of fermentation known as, that is what you have to tell me. Okay, answer this. Study of fermentation is known as dash. Good job. Try to answer at least. Okay, one by one we'll be doing it all. If I talk about apiology, it is related to study of bees, madhumakkhiyan. ठीक है जी, leave it aside. If I talk about, mycology, what is mycology? Mycology is study of fungi, fungus. Okay. So study of fungi or fungus is basically the mycology. Ontology is a branch of metaphysics. Metaphysics. Okay. Okay. There is one more thing. Oncology. पता है? Oncology is the study of or research of cancer. Cancer bimari, cancer. So we are left with one thing, and that is left called zymology. So remember, study of fermentation is known as zymology. Fermenting yeast, bacteria, and it is used for fermentation. Wine breweries use that, they make a lot of beer as well out of it. So remember this thing. If I talk about this point, you have to be very much clear that what is fermentation study known as, it is zymology. So it's a very important one. So I have given all the explanation over here. You can see this is how zymology is in action. Very important this is. Got it? So let me tell you one thing. We do find such kind of questions ultimately in the exams as well. In various exams, you have these kind of questions. So you have to have a proper level of clarity as well on that. So please be very much clear in this. I hope the idea is absolutely clear. All right. Let's move to the next one. Now, this is again a very important question. The question says, what is the common name of mercuric sulfide? Let me tell you, this is a very high probability question. I'll tell you the reason to it. Why is it such an important question? Firstly, let's try to answer this question. All of you. Try to answer this question. Very good. Okay, so one by one we'll try to decode it. One by one we are going to be decoding that. So thank you so much first of all. Now having said that, what exactly is the most important aspect? Let's try to understand. If I talk about Glauber salt, clear? Glauber salt is a different thing altogether. I'll tell you why. But when we talk about borax, so borax is sodium borate. It is sodium borate. So this cannot be the right answer. Borax can't be the right answer. Calomel is mercurous chloride. It is mercurous chloride. So you got to understand this is not the right answer. So right answer is going to be vermilion. Now, why was it in a lot of news? Because of Operation Sindoor. Because this is what is Sindoor called. This is the vermilion. So that is the mercuric sulfide. So remember this point very much clearly, that because vermilion is Sindoor, so it was in a lot of news because of Operation Sindoor. So we have to understand it that way. Is that clear? So I hope now you will understand that what is Sindoor called when we talk about scientific terms. So this is actually a very important thing. Is that clear? So traditional vermilion red was related to Sindoor. So this is what you need to understand. So of course vermilion is the right answer to this question. One thing I would like to tell you, that if I talk about calomel, that is mercurous chloride. I have told you already. That's one thing is clear. If we talk about borax, that is sodium borate. We have talked about that also. Now let me tell you about one thing. Glauber salt is known as mirabilite. It is basically sodium sulfate, kind of sodium sulfate, and it is also known as wonder salt. So Glauber's salt is also known as wonder salt, as you have to understand. Better point clear hai? So I am hopeful that this idea is absolutely clear. So a lot of questions from the science are going to be coming in today's class. So please be very much clear with this fact. Yeah. Any doubts you have, you surely can let me know. I hope this point is clear. So questions are self-explanatory. You are going to learn a lot. Okay. Moving ahead. So you will be finding it all in the PDF. Don't worry. Now next question is very interesting. What is the study of rock, their composition and origin known as? Mineralogy, lithology, petrology or stratigraphy? Yes, definitely Vari, it is very much useful. Got it? So it definitely is useful for you. For any examination it is useful. Why? Because it's static GK. Static GK is asked in any examination. And that is why I asked you guys that you can join this class. Tell me. Okay, so it's a very important one. Such kind of the questions you find in so many exams as well. If we talk about petrology, it is the study of composition, which is the correct answer. This is the right answer. But what is mineralogy? So mineralogy is study of mineral and the properties. Lithology is study of the rocks often visible in the field works, we do that. And stratigraphy is the study of layers or sequence or stratas. So that's why here appropriate answer absolutely is going to be the petrology. So it's a very important one. You find in a lot of news as well that the rocks, their composition, their origin, when you study which is the branch, that is the petrology is the branch we have to be understanding. Very easy this is. Got it? So the next question is going to be very much important. Let's move to the next question. Next question says, dash is the smallest bone in the human body. When we talk about the human body, which is a bone, which is the smallest, very, very small, like this much, very small, which I am talking about. Tell me, which bone am I referring to? That is the question. Good job. Okay, so let me tell you, we have a bone which we find in ear. Here inside the ear we have a bone known as stapes. So I'll show you, it looks like this, very small. Look at this finger, and this is stapes. So remember this thing, that stapes, which is a bone inside the human body's ear, is the smallest bone which we have. Stapes is the smallest bone which we have inside human body. So very much important point this is. Clear? Stapes. Okay. Humerus is a bone situated in which part of human body? Tell me about it. Humerus is situated where? It's a long bone, but where do we have humerus? Is it in the thigh? Is it in the knee? Is it upper arm? Is it forearm? Upper arm or forearm or knee or thigh, where do we have that? Very easy question this is. Okay, let me tell you one thing before you answer that. If I talk about thigh bone, which bone do we have in thigh? That is femur. That is femur, which we have in the thigh. Remember this thing. So in the thigh we have femur. In fact, femur is also known as the largest bone which we have. So femur is the largest bone we have in the body, and humerus is definitely in the upper arm, like under the biceps. We have this from shoulder to elbow, we have the upper arm. So this is certainly the right answer. Very important this is. So I'll show you in the diagram also. Have a look. So this is how it looks like. This is basically humerus. And this bone from pelvis area to the knee joint, this one is known as the femur. Very important part of the body's anatomy. So when we talk about the hand, from shoulder to elbow, this is the elbow. Okay, we have this one, that is humerus. And here we have two bones, that is ulna and radius. If I talk about this leg part, again from pelvis to knee joint, this one is the femur. And then we have two bones, thick one is tibia, and then we have fibula. So tibia and fibula we have from knee joint to ankle. So you have to have a bare minimum idea about these joints, because they can be directly asked in the examination. Very important this is. Yeah, kneecap is the patella, you can read over there. Yeah, this is the patella. Hanji, it's okay, Radha, it's absolutely fine. So I hope that you have got a decent level of clarity from these points. Very important this is. Clear everything? What is humerus and what is femur? I hope now you can easily differentiate between them very precisely. Okay, so we'll move to the next one. But before that, remember, femur is often called the largest bone in the human body. Very strong bone we have. Which acid is present in onion? Now it's a very important question. Pyaz, onion. Which acid do we have? Tartaric acid, lactic acid, sulfanic acid, phytic acid. Tell me about it. Very important. Okay, so the right answer is certainly, now this is again an easy one, factual question. This is sulfanic acid. Sulfanic acid is the right answer. It's a correct answer. If we talk about the tartaric acid, basically, we use in the baking powder. So remember this thing, it is not present in the onion, of course. So in the tamarind, like imli or the grapes or the bananas, you do find some tartaric acid. Lactic acid we find in sour milk, yogurt, curd, in the milk products we have that. And phytic acid is in the cereals, legumes. When we talk about different pulses and all, so you do have the presence of phytic acid as well. So you should have a bare minimum idea that whenever we are talking about certain acid, where exactly is it found? That's very much important. Clear? So remember this thing, phytic acid, where do we find that? Naturally occurring in the legumes or pulses. Different dals, pulses, we do have naturally occurring phytic acid. So this is actually a very important point. So lactic acid, about the curd and all. For example, curd, sour milk, we have a lot of lactic acid. Tartaric acid, again, I have told you in various, like fruits, we do have presence of tartaric acid, which is again a very important one. So these are naturally occurring acids, so we have to have a bare minimum idea about these. So sulfanic acid now, we have in the onion. So I am trying to explain all the other options also so that you can draw a proper clarity from that. So it's not just about, we are talking of one question only, no, nothing like that. We are trying to have a proper clarity related to other aspects as well. So I hope this helps you a lot. Clear? So any doubts you have, you surely can let me know. Clear? Okay. Moving to the next one. Now this is very easy one. Ramsar convention is related to the preservation or conservation of which of the following? Ramsar. So I think we did talk about that earlier as well. It's very easy. It is wetlands. Definitely wetlands we talk about. It is the one. And this convention is from 2nd of Feb 1971. And this place Ramsar is present in Iran. So there, back in 1971, 2nd of Feb, this convention was signed. So that's what makes it very much important. Clear? So it's very easy question. So nothing to explain much in this very question. You should know about that. But yeah, this convention came into force in 1975. So just remember what is more important is when it was adopted. When in the first place a convention is adopted, that actually is very much important. So this is very much basic idea we have to be understanding. So any idea when India joined that? It is also very important. Let me tell you, India joined the Ramsar Convention in 1982. So this is a very important fact. So India did join that. It was in February of 1982. India became a party of that. Okay? So India joined, or India became a party to the Ramsar Convention in February 1982. I hope this point is clear. Okay. Yes, definitely Chirag Sai, I'll help you out with that. I'll be coming up with some recorded videos also in 1-2 days. So we'll be doing that. Don't worry. Okay. There's a very important dam which we call by the name of Three Gorges Dam. So I hope you have heard about this dam. So you have to tell me where exactly do we have this dam located. It was in a lot of news also. China, USA, Canada, Australia. So where exactly do we have this particular dam located? Tell me. Okay, this is an easy one. It's the world's largest hydroelectric project. Let me tell you one thing. So this particular dam, I'll tell you in which country it is. What is its installed capacity? Let me tell you, just one dam is giving around 22,500 megawatt, which is massive. It certainly amounts to 22.5 gigawatt just from one project, which makes it the largest in the world. In entire world, we have the largest dam in terms of installed capacity, which is on Yangtze River. Which is on Yangtze River, and Yangtze River is in China. So remember this thing, you have to keep this in your mind, that world's largest dam in terms of installed capacity which is the Three Gorges Dam, is on Yangtze River of China. Very important information this is. Make sure you note it down properly in your notebooks. You can have a statement question also in some areas, and this will be coming very much handy. So it is largest project in terms of electricity production. So one dam is giving you so much electricity, as you all can see. Easy. So very important points these are. B Singh, you are absolutely right, Ji. But let me tell you one thing, it is not operational yet, the one you are saying. Of course, they will be doing that very soon. But as of now, this is in full on capacity. So that's why it was in a lot of news. Okay, nice information to share. Thank you. Okay, let's move ahead. Now the next question is very interesting. It says, which particular instrument do we have to measure the level of humidity? Hydrometer, galvanometer, fathometer, or hygrometer? Tell me about it. What do you think is the right answer? Very important question this is. Try to answer. Let me start with fathometer. So fathometer is to know the depth. If you have to calculate certain depth, so fathometer will be helping you to calculate that. Galvanometer will tell you about the currents, electric current. So it will certainly be detecting that. Now when we talk about the hydrometer, hydrometer will tell you what? If I talk about, because it is very much confusing, it is specific gravity of liquids. Hydrometer is for the specific gravity of particular liquid. So this is something you have to keep in your mind. So you're left with just one option, and that is the hygrometer, which is for level of humidity. Very important point this is. So remember, this is the point you have to be understanding. D is certainly going to be the right answer. Easy. So keep this in your mind. Like manometer is for pressure of gases. Lactometer is for purity of milk, use a lot in Punjab. Every dairy have that. Hydrometer I have told you, fathometer I have told you, galvanometer I have told you, so hygrometer. Yeah. So please try to keep this in your mind for the prelims exam. This can come very much handy. So I am hopeful that you are finding the session very much useful. All the people out there, I am hopeful that you are finding this session useful, and make sure that you are taking full advantage of this very session. Okay. Chalo, moving ahead, let's now move to the next question. Let me load the next question for you. Yeah. Next question says, vitamin C is also known as dash. What exactly do you call vitamin C? That is the question. Now, let me tell you, it is known as simply ascorbic acid. So, I have got various names for different vitamins. For example, you should know vitamin B1 is known as thiamine, very important. B2 is riboflavin. Similarly, when we talk about vitamin C is the ascorbic acid, as I have already told you. So, remember this thing, that ascorbic acid is vitamin C. So, you can take a screenshot of this, or you can get the PDF also, which I will be sharing soon after the class. So, you will be getting it all in the PDF as well. Very important information this is. Very important information for all the exams. This is, we have to keep in our minds. Is that clear, all of you? Chalo. So let's move ahead. Clear? Moving to the next one, it says, now this is a very important one, let me tell you. Pellagra is a disease. Pellagra is caused by the deficiency of dash. B1, B2, B3 or B12. Tell me about pellagra. So what do you think? In the bracket, B1 is thiamine, B2 is riboflavin, B3 is niacin, and B12 is cobalamin. So you already know that. So which vitamin deficiency can cause a disease known as pellagra? Think about it. Okay, so it is B3. Let me tell you. So it's a factual information. So vitamin B3, that is deficient of niacin, will certainly be causing this disease known as pellagra. So B3 is going to cause pellagra amongst the people who are facing that particular deficiency. You need to keep this in your mind. Pellagra is caused by this particular deficiency. So I hope this idea is again very much clear. Easy? Okay. So now this is what we call static GK. Let me tell you. So static GK is mixed GK having so many dimensions from different portions. Moving ahead, which of the following is not a World Heritage Site which we have in India? Agra Fort, Fatehpur Sikri, Taj Mahal or Tomb of Akbar? That is the question I have. So let's see how many of you can answer that. Think about it. Very easy. Very quickly you can answer that. Try to answer it very much quickly. हाँ जी जोबन बिल्कुल मिलूगा जी, चिंता ना करो, बिल्कुल मिलूगा. Please try to answer this one. Okay, so when I talk about this one, it's very basic. Tomb of Akbar is not a World Heritage Site, so this is the right answer. I'll have more questions on the World Heritage Site, so don't worry. This is just the beginning. Okay, now this is again a very interesting question. Mongolia's currency is which of the following? Is it Togrog, is it Yen, is it Peso or is it Yuan? Very good. Yes, Radha, absolutely. Now let me tell you one thing. If I talk about Yen, it is from Japan. Yuan is from China. But Peso is not from one country. Let me tell you one thing. So many countries are having Peso. For example, Colombia, of course, have Peso. Any other country you can think of? Chile, even Cuba, Philippines is also using Peso, Uruguay or even Mexico. So now these are the prominent countries which are using Peso as their currency. Uruguay, Philippines, Mexico, Cuba, Chile, Colombia, Argentina. So remember this thing that so many countries are having Peso as their currencies. Okay, so these are the prominent countries we should know. And if I talk about Togrog, so definitely Togrog is the Mongolia's currency. So Togrog is certainly the right answer to our question. But what is more important, you should know that these countries are all having Peso as their currency. So Peso is being used by so many countries, and Taiwan use Taiwanese dollar. So Taiwan have its own dollar. Okay, moving ahead, let's try to focus on the next question. So I'm trying to make sure we are doing so many questions in less time. Okay, cut time से ज़्यादा question करिए. That is what the target is. Okay, which of the following national park is UNESCO World Heritage Site? Tell me about it. Is it Great Himalayan National Park, Kanha National Park, Valmiki National Park, Vanviyar National Park? Tell me. So let me tell you one thing, in India, we are having some national parks or some natural World Heritage. So total natural World Heritage Sites we have how many? 7. And amongst those 7, we have Great Himalayan National Park also. So this is the right answer. Remember, Great Himalayan National Park is one of those 7 natural World Heritage Sites. This is actually a fact which is very much important. So you are supposed to have a bare minimum idea about how many World Heritage Sites do we have. So anybody who can tell me, so in total, how many World Heritage Sites is India having at the present? Tell me, you can guess that. How many total World Heritage Sites do we have presently in India? That is the question. Because recently some changes were done, so that is why I am asking this particular question. So let's see how many of you have this basic idea about that. Good job. Okay, let me tell you one thing. 7 natural. And on top of that, we have 36 cultural World Heritage Sites. Okay. So it is 36 plus 7, how many? It is 43. And 1, we have mixed World Heritage Site. It is cultural and natural both. So 36 plus 7 plus 1 is how much? 44. So remember, we have 44 World Heritage Sites. And in this year, that is in 2025, we just have added 1 World Heritage Site, that is Maratha military landscape. So I'll be having a question on that, don't worry. So Maratha military landscape is the latest, and last year we added Assam World Heritage Site, that is known as Midams, burial systems of a home dynasty. So we did that last year. So you have to keep this thing in your mind that in total, if somebody asks you how many World Heritage sites do we have, you will say we have 44 World Heritage sites in total as of now in India. Very important point, this is in your mind, you have to keep clear. So I would like to tell you about Kanchenjunga, just in brief. Kanchenjunga is known as a mixed World Heritage Site. Now what is a mixed World Heritage Site? Because natural World Heritage Site means that they are related to nature, cultural means they are related to culture. So just imagine a World Heritage Site which have both elements. It have nature like Kanchenjunga Peak, it have culture of Bhutia people or the people who live there, all the tribes who live there. So their culture is important. So that's why it is known as mixed World Heritage Site. So if somebody is thinking that why is Kanchenjunga this particular thing a mixed World Heritage Site, you should know that it is because of both culture and nature. So these are the 7 natural World Heritage Sites which we have in India. So keep it in your mind. These are the natural World Heritage Sites as we have in India. 7 in total we have. Is that clear? 7 natural World Heritage Sites we have in India. So you have to keep it in. Moving to the next question. Which of the following ocean currents is not a cold ocean current? Very important question again this is. So think about it. It's not a cold ocean current. That's what my question is. Good job. Yes, we sing absolutely agree. So think about it. How exactly do we get to the right answer? So now this is a very basic question which you are expected to answer. Okay, so let me tell you one thing. When we talk about Canary current, it's a cold current. California current is a cold current. Oyashu is a cold current, but Kuroshio current is a warm oceanic current. So that's why this is going to be the right answer to the question. This certainly will be the right answer to the question. So you have to understand this is how Kuroshio looks like. So Kuroshio is certainly a warm ocean current as we have to be understanding. I hope this idea is absolutely clear. So just I think I'll have to restart the PPT. Just give me a moment. Just a moment, just a moment. Okay, so just restoring this back. Yeah, it's working fine now. I'm sorry for the glitch. So it should be working fine now. So of course the right answer, as you all know, is going to be this one. So you have to understand that. So you have to understand about all the cold and the warm ocean current. You have to remember all of them. It's very much important for you to remember all the warm and cold ocean current because it can be asked in the exam. So it's actually a very important topic we have to be keeping in our minds. So please make sure that you're having a decent bit of idea about these. Let's now move to the next question. It says Panama Canal opened in 1914 links dash. So Panama Canal is linking which of the following? That is what my question is. Hanji, thank you so much. I'm sure you know about the Panama Canal. Must have heard about the famous, very famous in fact, Panama Canal. So tell me, if I talk about, okay, let's talk about one by one. That's more important. If I specifically talk about connecting Gulf of Oman and Persian Gulf, just think about this thing. If we talk about connecting Gulf of Oman and Persian Gulf, which of the following connects that? Think about that. Strait of Hormuz. Strait of Hormuz will connect that. If I talk about Red Sea with Mediterranean Sea, which connects that? Suez Canal. Suez Canal connects that. Very good. If I talk about Indian Ocean, Pacific Ocean, as such, we don't have a canal connecting that. But if I talk about Atlantic Ocean, Pacific Ocean, this certainly is connected by the Panama Canal or Panama Canal. So, of course, this is going to be the right answer. So, you have to have this idea that which of the following, strait or anything is connecting whom, that has to be very much clear in your minds, all of you. But is that clear? So B is of course the right answer. I hope now you have got an idea that why in the first place do we have this as the right answer. This is actually a very important thing. I hope this idea is absolutely clear to you guys, all of you. Got it? Chalo, perfect. So you can have a look. This is how Panama Canal looks like, and it is there of course connecting Atlantic and Pacific Ocean over there. Moving ahead, this is happening for the first time, I don't know. Chalo, no issues. So have a look at this image, if you can see that on the screens. So here you can see Red Sea is being connected by the Gulf of Aden by Bab al-Mandeb. Gulf of Oman is connected by the Persian Gulf, Strait of Hormuz we have, and these are actually very important points we need to be understanding. Very basic thing this is, but we have to keep in our minds, all of you, and this is quite an important thing. Okay, now moving ahead, which of the following is not a mountain peak in the Andaman and Nicobar Islands? That's the next question. This one is the next question for you. Tell me. It is not located in the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Very good. So let's see how many of you can get the right answer to this question. So I'm sure you must have heard about Saddle Peak and other peaks. But if I talk about Lhotse, so this is certainly not located in the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. So remember this thing, Lhotse is certainly the right answer. Okay, so when we talk about the Lhotse is not there, when we talk about the Nepal, Tibet area, there we have that. And one more thing I would like to add, in Andaman and Nicobar Islands, we had a peak known as Mount Harriet. I'm sure you must have heard about that. Mount Harriet. But let me tell you one thing, it has now been renamed. And what is the new name of Mount Harriet? It is Mount Manipur. So recently in 2021 it was renamed and now it is known as Mount Manipur. So you can have this question that where is Mount Manipur located? So of course Mount Manipur is in Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Always keep this thing in your mind. Mount Manipur is in Andaman and Nicobar Islands. So this is actually a very important point we have to be understanding precisely. Is that clear, everyone? I hope this idea is absolutely clear. Yeah. So when we talk about Nepal Tibet border, there we have Lhotse. So of course it's not in Andaman and Nicobar, but Mount Harriet is in Andaman Nicobar, and now it has been renamed. New name is Mount Manipur. So if you get a question, where is Mount Manipur? Your answer will be it is in Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Please keep this thing in your mind. Very much important information this is. So please try to focus on these informations. These are actually very much important. Yeah, sure. बिल्कुल आओ प्रभजोत, definitely आऊँगा. Don't worry. It will all be coming in the PDF. Okay. ठीक है जी. So moving ahead. Next question. It says, state which is situated on Tropic of Cancer. Tell me about it. Which state is on Tropic of Cancer? Which state of India? Very good. So total in India, we have 8 states. That's very interesting trick also, we have to learn that. So it can be like Rahul Gandhi made Chief Justice wait for the meeting. Now this is very funny, but this is interesting. Rahul Gandhi made Chief Justice wait for the meeting. So now what is it all about? R for Rajasthan, G for Gujarat. What is M for? Anybody? Madhya Pradesh, MP. Now Chief Justice, C and J, new states, that is Chhattisgarh and Jharkhand. Okay. Wait, that is West Bengal. And when we talk about that is Tripura. That has to be Tripura. And M stands for meeting, stands for Mizoram. So remember, these are the 8 states, and you can remember using this very simple trick, which you can call mnemonic also. You can use this particular thing. Very important this is. So if I talk about this answer, the answer is very much clear now. It is Jharkhand. Jharkhand is the right answer. So remember, it is not Odisha. A lot of people will say Odisha, but Odisha is not the state through which it is passing. Important: Rajasthan, Gujarat, MP, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, West Bengal, Tripura and Mizoram. These are the states you have to understand. Tropic of Cancer, as you all are aware of. So remember this thing: Rajasthan, Gujarat, MP, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, West Bengal, Tripura and Mizoram. It is not Manipur, it is Mizoram. Okay, Manipur is in north, so Manipur will not be there. Mizoram is there. So these are in total the 8 states which we have through which Tropic of Cancer is passing. So very important question of static JK. This can be in any examination, this can be asked. So we have to master that. Moving ahead, let's move next question. Which of the following is not a base unit of SI system? Not a base unit. Ampere, Newton, Candela, mole. Very important question again this is. Let's see how many of you can answer that. Which is not a base unit. So how many base units we have? How many basic units we have? We have 7 base units. We have 7 base units, as you all know. Got it? So which are the base units? 7. Ampere we have. Ampere is for electric current. So yes, it's a base unit. If we talk about the mole, mole is for what? Amount of substance. Mole is for amount of any substance. We use mole. If we talk about the candela, candela is for luminous intensity. You know, light, I can write light. But if I talk about Newton, it is not a basic unit or base unit. Newton is what? Newton is a derived unit. Because Newton is what? Newton is of force. Newton is unit of force. And what is force? Force is basically meter gram per centimeter per second square, right? So when we talk about this thing, this is certainly a derived unit, we have to understand. So very basic this is. So because whenever we are talking of this particular thing, we have to know that force is a derived unit. So it's the right answer, we have to understand. So keep this thing in your mind that these are the base units. Like we have meter, you know, kilogram, second, ampere, Kelvin, mole and candela. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And these are basically the derived units, as you can say. Even, you know, like plane angle, frequency, force, pressure, stress, all these are basically the derived unit, as you can see that. So very important resource. Clear? Moving to the next one. Okay, tell me, marasmus and kwashiorkor are caused due to deficiency of which of the following? Now this is an easy question. It also comes in a lot of news, so you should have a basic idea about this. Tell me about it. Caused by the deficiency of which of the following? Good job. Yeah. Very good, Divyanshi. Very good, Atul. Okay, now this is important. It's not vitamins. It is basically proteins. Let me, C is the right answer. C is the right answer. This is a very basic one. Like kwashiorkor, we see the tummy coming out, protuberance of the belly. And marasmus, we see too much thin kids become. So this is kwashiorkor, this is marasmus. They're all caused because of deficiency of proteins, as we can say. So heavy deficiency of protein leads to this thing. So you can see this particular thing. Enlarged fatty liver becomes there, and you can have a look at this. It's very unfortunate. Next one, World Energy Outlook is a report released by which of the following agencies? Who released World Energy Outlook? Tell me about it. So it's an agency which is present in Paris, France. Its name is IEA, that is International Energy Agency. So International Energy Agency is the one which will be releasing this report on regular basis. So that's why B is the right answer to this question. Very important. B is certainly the right answer to this question. Moving ahead, Kalahari deserts cover 70% area of which of the following country? That is what my next question is. Tell me. I am sure you know about Kalahari desert. So tell me, it is covering massive area of which of the following country? It is of course African country, but which African country am I talking about? That's quite important. Is it? It is Botswana. Botswana is a country. Have a look at this. This is Botswana. This is Kalahari desert. So where is Kalahari desert present? Maximum part of Botswana, some part of Namibia, some part of South Africa. But since the question says maximum part of which country, so you can see it is Botswana. So it is in the southern part of the African continent, Botswana country. Very important this question is. Botswana. Next one, which of the following mountain lies between Caspian Sea and Black Sea? If we talk about Caspian Sea to Black Sea, which mountains are lying over there? Is it Caucasus? Is it Carpathians? Is it Apennines? Is it Alborz? Which is the right answer? Tell me. So the right answer has to be Caucasus mountains. Caucasus is certainly going to be the right answer. So have a look at this. If you talk about countries like Azerbaijan, countries like Georgia, so you will have a look like Greater Caucasus is there, Lesser Caucasus is there. So on one side we have Caspian Sea, on one side we have Black Sea. So you can see between Caspian Sea and Black Sea, we have these mountains basically present. These are basically present between Black Sea and Caspian Sea. So again, this is a point we are supposed to be understanding. Very basic point this is, but we have to have a decent level of idea about where Caucasus are present. Where exactly are Caucasus present, we have to have a bare minimum idea about this thing. Got it? Very important this is. So I would also try to discuss the capitals. Like when I talk about Georgia, its capital is Tbilisi, Azerbaijan capital is Baku, and Armenia's capital is Yerevan, Yerevan. So remember, these are very much important capitals, Yerevan, Tbilisi and Baku. So make a note of this as well. One thing I would like to tell you, one more trick. Like we have this Caspian Sea. Everybody can see Caspian Sea. Now there is a trick known as Tarik. Now what is that? All the countries surrounding the Caspian Sea can be learned using this trick. How? We talk about this particular thing. For example, you start with T. T stands for Turkmenistan. A is basically for Azerbaijan. R is for Russia. I is for Iran. And K is for Kazakhstan. So we have 5 countries surrounding the Caspian Sea. They are Tarik. Got it? Turkmenistan, Azerbaijan, Russia, Iran and Kazakhstan. So remember this thing, that these are the 5 countries which are surrounding the Caspian Sea. These questions often come in the examination. you will be having these kind of questions being asked in the examination. So you have to pay proper attention on these questions. Very important. Got it? So you have to have a proper revision of this particular thing, which is going to be very much important. So any doubts you have, you surely can let me know. I think it's absolutely clear. Similarly, if I talk about the Black Sea, you can have a look around the Black Sea also. There's a trick known as the burger. The burger. Now what is that? Let's have a look. When we talk about the, that means Turkey. B stands for Bulgaria. U stands for Ukraine. R stands for Russia. Okay, so there we have Russia. Okay. G is stand for Georgia, Georgia, and then R stands for Romania. So you can have a look that these are the 6 countries surrounding the Black Sea. The burger. So it is B U R G E R. So it is as simple as that. I hope you will never be forgetting this particular thing. Anjija group, okay, chalo, that's good that it is helping you guys a lot. Chalo, I'm glad that it is helping you guys, but this is a very important trick. I'm sure you must be having your own mnemonic also, but you can certainly deploy this mnemonic as well in your preparation. Which of the following river join Ganga directly? You have to tell me. Is it Chambal, Son, Betwa, Ken? Very important question. Which river is going to be joining it directly? That is what the question says. Think about it. Now let me tell you one thing. Chambal will join Yamuna, Betwa will join Yamuna, Ken will join Yamuna, but only one river, that is Son, is going to be joining the Ganga directly. That is point we have to understand. Son. So remember this thing. For example, if I show you over here, this is river Ganga, okay, and this is river Yamuna in blue. So if you see very much closely, Chambal is joining Yamuna, Sindh is joining Yamuna, Betwa is joining Yamuna, Ken is joining Yamuna, Tons is joining Yamuna. So every river is joining Yamuna. But if I talk about this river, Son is joining near Patna, Ganga. So Son is joining Ganga directly over here. This is what you need to understand. So remember that Son will always be joining Ganga directly, but other rivers are joining Yamuna, and then Yamuna is joining Ganga. So directly Son is only the river which is joining Ganga. Okay, which is the highest dam in India? Now this is a very basic question. Tell me about it. A dam with the height of around 260.5 meters. Which dam am I talking about? Dam which is on river Bhagirathi. Bhagirathi river we have. In Uttarakhand we have this dam, and this is known as Tehri Dam. Tehri Dam is certainly going to be the right answer. It's a very basic one, but we have to keep this thing in our minds. Hanji, hanji. I hope you are finding this session very much useful. Okay, okay. So you can have a look. This is Tehri Dam. It's on Bhagirathi river and it's in Uttarakhand, of course. So you can see the height. It's massive. It is 260.5 meter of height, the Tehri Dam, as we talk about. Simple point. Okay. Okay. Now tell me this thing. There's a monastery. So it is known as Kardang Monastery. It was in news also, but it's a very important monastery of India, of Tibetis. Where do we have that? Tell me about it. Where is Kardang Monastery situated? Good job. So I can see a lot of students giving the right answer. So it's very basic. As the name indicates itself, it is in Himachal Pradesh. So HP, Himachal Pradesh it is. Kardang Monastery situated at elevation of around 3500 meters, and it is near the Bhaga river. So all the Tibeti people live there. This is very much important. Got it? Sure. Moving ahead. Now this is a very easy one. Europa is a natural satellite of which of the following? Europa is a satellite of Uranus, Mars, Jupiter or Saturn. So let me tell you, it can't be Mars. Why? Because Mars only have two satellites, Phobos and Deimos. Mars have satellite, that is Phobos and Deimos. So it can't be the right answer. So if I talk about the Europa, Hanji, Hanji. Is that clear? So if I talk about Europa, it is certainly the satellite of Jupiter. Jupiter is the right answer. So when we talk about the satellite of Jupiter, so we have various satellites, but Jupiter have primarily Europa, the main satellite. Then we have Ganymede, Callisto, Io, Himalaya. So various satellites we have. So this is one thing we have to be understand. When we talk about Jupiter, this is actually a very important one. Is that clear? So I hope this idea is absolutely clear. Moving ahead. So it has various satellites. So just remember Ganymede, Callisto, Io, Europa, Himalaya. These are the natural satellites of Jupiter as we have to be understanding. Okay, moving ahead. Tell me about this thing. Satyashodhak Samaj. Who was the founder of Satyashodhak Samaj? Now that's a very easy one. Who did the foundation stone of Satyashodhak Samaj? That is the question. So it was someone who worked a lot for the backward classes, that is Mahatma Jyotiba Phule. So C is certainly the right answer. Jyotiba Phule is certainly the right answer. When he was able to do that, it was around 1873. Where he did that? In Maharashtra area of India. We can see that Jyotiba Phule has been working tirelessly with his wife Savitribai Phule for the upliftment of the people who were basically downtrodden, especially the backward class. He was working for them. So that's very much important. This is. Got it? Jyotiba Phule. Next one, the question says, when we talk about the Deshbandhu, Deshbandhu is a title of which of the following? So tell me about it. So you should know about, basic titles which are there. If somebody has been, given basic titles, you have to have a basic idea about that. So tell me, what exactly is the right answer? So in the Gaya session of 1922, he played a very important role. Let me tell you one thing. So actually, he has played a very important role, and that is C.R. Das. So we have to have a basic idea about this person. Very important this is. So C.R. Das is the right answer. Okay, if I talk about one more one like Lok Nayak. So when we talk about Lok Nayak, this is a title basically given to which of the following? Anyone who can tell me? So Lok Nayak is a title used for JP, Jayaprakash Narayan. So remember this thing. For Jayaprakash Narayan, we have Lok Nayak as a title which is used very much widely. So we have to be understanding this point very much precisely. Hanji. Anyone who knows about the title of Deen Bandhu? So let me tell you all the important titles. If I talk about Deen Bandhu as a title, it is widely used for which person? Think about it. Deen Bandhu is for Charles Andrew. So it's very much important. So when we talk about Charles Andrews, it is for him. Charles Andrews. In Delhi, we have a place known as Andrews Ganj. So basically it's because of him only. So Mahatma Gandhi gave him the title. Deen Bandhu means friend of the poor. So remember this thing, that Charles Andrew is the person who is known as Deen Bandhu. Very important again this title. Deen Bandhu, we have to understand. Got it? So very important is Deshbandhu, C.R. Das. Deen Bandhu is for Charles Andrews. We have to know that. And if I talk about Lokmanya, so Lokmanya is a title given to Bal Gangadhar Tilak. Now this is a static GK from history part, so that's why I'm able to tell you all these things from that particular thing. So Lok Nayak, when we talk about, that is JP Narayan. Lok Manya, that is Bal Gangadhar Tilak. Deen Bandhu, that is Charles Andrew. Desh Bandhu, that is CR Das. So you can see very much important these points are. Any doubts you have, you surely can let me know. All of you, I think this particular thing is clear. Very good. So just in case you have any doubt, you surely can ask. That's why I think it should be clear by now. So moving ahead. Okay. Pukhur embroidery is a very special type of embroidery. So it is done by the tribals of which of the following state? That is what my question is. So let me just show you the options completely. Yeah. So there are the options. Tell me about it. So let me tell you, there is a tribe known as Toda tribe. Toda tribe does it, and they belong to Tamil Nadu. So this beautiful embroidery, that is Pukhur embroidery, is done by the Toda tribe, which belongs to the state of Tamil Nadu. So this is a very important point we need to be understanding. Toda tribe of Tamil Nadu. Any doubts? So you can have a look. These are the Toda people basically. They are found in the parts of the Nilgiri in the Tamil Nadu area, and they are doing this embroidery Pukhur. They also celebrate a festival known as Modvet. Modvet is basically the festival which is celebrated or observed by these people, and this is something you have to basically understand. Very basic this is. So I'm hopeful that these particular things, all these ideas, they are helping you at least have a bare minimum idea that what kind of the questions you can expect, especially in the AFCAT exam, and in general also any exam you sit in, you will be encountering these kind of questions precisely. Okay, what was the name of the mascot for recent Olympics? 2024 Paris Olympics, everybody remember? So what was the mascot which we had there? Tell me. Very good. What do you think is the right answer to this question? Think about it. So mascot, these were certain type of caps, and they were known as Phrygian caps or frigates. So remember this thing, this is actually a very important static GK now. So frigates is basically the mascot of Paris 2024 Olympics. It certainly looks like this, Phrygian caps, Paris 2024 mascot. Now what makes them important? Because they are associated with liberty. They are also known as liberty caps in Europe. So since they are associated with the liberty, and that is why we talk about Phrygian caps, or anything you can call this. So it is very much important for you to be understood. Got the point? So simple and straightforward point this is, we have to understand. Okay, moving ahead, let me take you to the next question. Now this is again a very important one. It says, on which date do we celebrate or do we observe the Navy Day? Now this is a very important one. This is certainly a very important one. So let me tell you, on this day in 1971, Navy conducted Operation Trident. Okay. Operation Trident was conducted by Navy, and the date is December 4. 4th of December, the Navy did Operation Trident, that's why it's important. 8th of October, we observe the Indian Air Force Day. Remember this thing. It is on 8th of October every year, and 15th of January every year we have Indian Army Day. Very important again. So remember these three dates, very much important these are. And Indian Air Force Day, 8th of October, Army Day, 15th of Jan, and December 4 is the Navy Day, as you have been told over here. I hope it's absolutely clear. Anybody who will tell me when do we have Indian Coast Guard Day? When do we have Indian Coast Guard Day celebrated every year? Who will tell me? It is 1st of Feb. Very good. So Feb 1st ko we have this 1st of Feb. We have the Indian Coast Guard Day. Indian Coast Guard Day we have on 1st of February every year. So these are 4 dates which you always have to keep in your mind. The moment you see the question, you have to hit the right answer, as simple as that. Very important. So I hope now you are realizing that what is the importance of these questions. It is not just the questions, but the reasoning which I am giving you, the right answer and the explanation which you are getting here. That is what matters the most in these particular quiz sessions. Moving ahead. Okay. Which of the following is not a classical dance? Now this is a very easy question. Let me see how many of you can answer that. Which is not a classical dance? Tell me. बेटे कथक तो है क्लासिकल डांस, बिल्कुल है. कथक भी है, ओडिसी भी है, कुचिपुड़ी है. It is यक्षगान, which is not. Got it? So it's a theatre form basically. So D is the right answer. It certainly is not a classical dance. So in India, remember this thing. Bharatanatyam is a classical dance, basically from Tamil Nadu. Kathak we see in the North India, mainly UP. Kuchipudi in Andhra Pradesh we see. Odissi is there, Kathakali is there, Satriya is there, Manipuri is there, and Mohiniyattam is there. So all in all, we have 8 classical dances as of now in India, and these are the classical dance as per the Sangeet Natak Academy. These are the 8 classical dance. So Bharatanatyam, again I am telling you, from Tamil Nadu. Kathak you can say UP, Kuchipudi Andhra Pradesh, Odissi from Odisha, Kathakali from Kerala, Satriya from Assam, Manipuri, Mohiniyattam again from Kerala. So be very much clear that you should know from which state a particular dance is coming. So Odissi and Manipuri is easy, as the name indicates, and they also are representing some elements. Not all, like Bharatanatyam represent the element of fire. Kuchipudi represent the element of earth. Odissi represent the element of water. Then Kathakali represent the element of ether or sky. Mohiniyattam represent the element of air. So you always have to have this idea that which classical dance is representing any element. So I am just posting over here also, like Bharatanatyam, fire, and Kuchipudi, earth. Then Odissi, as you all can see, it's water. Okay. And Kathakali is ether or sky. Mohiniyattam is air. So please make a note of it. It's very much important information for you. So these are certain points, we have to always keep in our minds very much precisely. Very much important these are. Okay. The next one, again a very interesting question. Which of the following countries have peso as its currency? Peso is the currency of which of the following? Tell me about it. Good job. Peso is the currency of which of the following? That is my question. Think about it. Peso. So I think we have just talked about this a few moments ago. Okay. So it is all the above. I've told you, in the Argentina, Philippines, Uruguay, everywhere we have the peso. So of course, all the above is certainly the right answer. Everywhere in these countries we have peso. So I have told you multiple countries already are having peso as their currency. So peso is the currency of so many countries, and of course here we have this idea we have to be keeping in our mind. So again, not a difficult question, but we have to have a bare minimum idea about this thing, that how in the first place we have to answer. Clear? So again, Argentina, Chile, Colombia, Cuba, Mexico, Philippines, Uruguay, everywhere we have this. Okay, tell me, what is the currency of Laos? Laos is a Southeast Asian country. So, okay, so let me tell you, Baht is the currency of Thailand. Clear? So rupee and rupiah is also not, but Laos currency is KIP. So KIP is certainly the right answer. Always remember this thing. If I talk about these countries like Cambodia, Cambodia's currency is Riel, R-I-E-L. Very important. Indonesia, we have rupiah. Laos currency is KIP. When we talk about Malaysia, Malaysia mein we have ringgit. Ringgit is what we have in Malaysia. Myanmar, which is a neighboring country, we have kyat. Now this is very much important. In Myanmar, we have a currency known as kyat. Philippines, we have peso, we have talked about. Singapore dollar, Thailand baht, and Vietnam, we have dong. So in Vietnam, the currency is dong, D-O-N-G, dong. So I hope now you will never forget this thing. Very much important this point is. Is that clear, everyone? So you have to have a bare minimum idea about these things because they are going to be of immense importance. Very much important these points are. So please keep them in your minds, all of you. Okay, so moving to the next one. So now this is a variety of GK. Just 1 hour down the line, I think you already have learned so much. Manat is the currency of which of the following countries? Is it Turkmenistan, Azerbaijan, both A and B, या फिर Tajikistan? So let me tell you, in Tajikistan we have Som Somoni. So that's not the one. But in Turkmenistan we have Manat. In Azerbaijan we have Manat. So of course, I'll certainly be going with this as the right answer. So we can go with both A and B as the right answer. C is the right answer to this question. C is certainly the right answer to this question we have to understand. Getting it? Easy? Okay, moving ahead. At times we talk about Tikka disease. So it impacts badly which of the following crop? Is it mustard? Is it paddy? That is rice? Is it groundnut or is it all the above? Tikka disease. Anybody who can tell me? So in the early infections we have brown spots on the yellow, those yellow halos or the yellow spots appear on the leaf. And in the late infection we have black spot which appear on the leaf. So basically it impacts, it shows on the leaf and the seeds shells are very much reduced. So it's basically in the groundnut. Very important this is. So it is a disease in the groundnut crop or in India, remember this thing. So when we talk about Tikka disease, it impacts badly the groundnuts as you can see. Is that clear? So very important this point is. Okay. The next one says, START 1 and START 2. Now what is START? START means Strategic Arm Reduction Treaty. Strategic Arms Reduction Treaty. So my question is, Strategic Arm Reduction Treaty was signed between which of the two countries? This is a very important one. So it was done in 1990s, let me tell you. In the decade of 1990s, we have START 1 and START 2. They were basically signed around 91, 94. That was the time. So between which two countries? On one side we have Russia. On one side we have USA. So remember this thing that US and USSR are the one who signed the START 1 and START 2 treaty after the end of Cold War. After the Cold War ended, these two treaties were signed between US and USSR. This is actually a very important one. So it is about limiting the strategic offensive arms. So you can have a look at the pictures also. It's in 91 START 1 and around 93 we have the START 2. So these were basically signed. You can have a look at this. So USA president, Russian president, again USA president. So this is very much important. Is that clear? Very important this is. So make sure you make a note of it that the START treaty is between whom we have to have a bare minimum idea. ठीक है जी? So I hope it's absolutely clear. Okay, let me ask you one more question. It's a very interesting one. It says the Maginot line defines the boundary between which of the two countries? Maginot line. It was very much relevant during the world wars. So you have to be answering this question precisely. Maginot line I'm talking about. It is Germany and France. Let me show you. Have a look at this. This is Germany. This is France. And you can have a look at this line. So what is that? So various fortifications are there along this line. This is the Maginot line we have between Germany and France. You must be knowing that during the world wars, be it World War I, be it World War II, they were both fighting opposite to each other. है ना? So Germany and France were enemies, they were hardcore enemies, and they have been fighting the world wars and they were anti each other. So this is the point we have to basically understand, and Maginot Line is basically the boundary between these two countries we have to look into. So very important this point is, and we have to have a bare minimum idea on these particular points. I hope this idea is clear. Okay, so have a look at this one. 17th parallel is a boundary between which of the following? That is my question. 17th parallel. Think about it. North Korea, South Korea, USA, Canada. What do you think? So let me tell you one thing. If I talk about North Korea, South Korea, their boundary is known as 38th parallel. Now that is a very important one, very symbolic. It is known as 38th parallel. Now what is parallel? Parallel basically means 38 degree north. If we talk about USA, Canada, USA, Canada, their boundary is basically around 49th parallel. 49th parallel is their boundary. And if I certainly talk about the North Vietnam and South Vietnam, which are now united, of course, they were divided along 17th parallel. So this is the right answer. So remember this thing, we have to understand this point that North Korea, South Korea 38th parallel, USA, Canada 49th parallel. So North Vietnam and South Vietnam is 17th parallel, we have to be understanding. Very important this point is. Very basic this point is. 17th parallel, North Vietnam, South Vietnam, 38th parallel, North Korea, South Korea, and 49th parallel, Canada, USA. Now these are important points. For every examination, these questions can be asked and you have to answer it accordingly. Got it? Sure. Moving to the next one. Where are the headquarters of OPEC located? Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries. It's a cartel basically. It came up in 1960 in the Baghdad conference. It came up. So you have to tell me where are the headquarters located. Since 1965, they are located in Vienna. Vienna, which is in Austria. Now I'll tell you which is the funny thing. In Vienna, we have the headquarters, but Vienna is not even the member of OPEC. So remember this thing. Initially, we had just 5 countries, Iraq, Iran, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia and Venezuela. And now presently we have 12 members of OPEC. The number keep on fluctuating, it keeps on going up and down. But we have to understand that the headquarters are located in Vienna, that is in Austria. This is a very important point we need to understand. So remember, even though Vienna is the headquarters, Austria is not even a OPEC member state. This is a very important fact we need to understand, and we have presently 12 members in the OPEC. This is what we need to understand. You don't need to remember the members, just remember that in 1960 it was started at Baghdad, so it's very much important. So they basically decide that how much petroleum to produce and what should be the price of the petroleum products. This is what they basically decide, the pricing power they have. Alright, okay, moving ahead, let's move to the next question. Okay, so the next question is Bonn Convention. Famous Bonn Convention is related to which of the following? That's the question. Bonn Convention. Tell me. So Bonn Convention, I'm talking about of 1979, just to give you a hint. Bonn Convention of 1979, which is also known as CMS, Convention on Migratory Species. So Bonn Convention is known as CMS, that is Convention on Migratory Species. So that's why we have to pick this as the right answer. C is certainly going to be the right answer to this question. Bonn Convention. It is by UNEP, United Nations Environment Program, headquarters in Nairobi. So it's very much important. So remember, CMS is also known as the famous Bonn Convention of 1979. So you have to know about these conventions also. These important environmental conventions, they are certainly very much important. Got it? Next question. The famous Stockholm Convention deals with which of the following? Tell me. If we talk about the Stockholm Convention, it is certainly dealing with which of the following? That is what the question is. And let me tell you that this is again a point which is of immense importance. Stockholm Convention. So before you answer that, let me tell you about others, like convention related to ozone layer protection, that is Vienna Convention. Vienna Convention is related to the protection of ozone layer. It's from 1985. Got it? And Stockholm Convention is related to POPs, that is persistent organic pollutants. So yeah, this is the right answer. Very important this is. Got it? If I talk about the Kyoto Protocol, it is related to what? It is related to climate change. So you have to have a bare minimum idea about this thing, that like if I talk about Basel Convention, just imagine question comes on Basel Convention. Which Basel Convention? Of course, there is one most important one, 1989. So Basel Convention is related to which of the following? It is related to transboundary movement of or international movement of hazardous waste. So it is related to hazardous waste and its disposal. Remember this point very much clearly. Basel Convention is related to the hazardous waste movement and how do we dispose that properly. That is what is it all about. So this is something we have to always understand very much precisely. If I talk about Rotterdam, Convention, it was I think 1998. So it's related to which of the following? It is about hazardous chemicals and pesticides. It's related to hazardous or dangerous chemicals and pesticides. So you have to keep a proper eye on this, that they are talking about hazardous chemicals, so it has to be Rotterdam Convention. If they talk about hazardous waste, it is Basel Convention. If they talk about persistent organic pollutants, at that time it will be Stockholm Convention. And if they talk about ozone layer, it has to be Vienna Convention. So these are the major conventions you have to understand. These are the major conventions we have to understand precisely. Is that clear? So I hope that you are now able to at least understand these points very much precisely. Very important this is. Okay. Moving ahead, which of the following dam is not constructed across Bhagirathi river? So tell me about it. Very important this is. Not constructed across Bhagirathi, I am asking you. I am not asking is constructed, I am asking you not constructed. Think about it. So I think Tehri is situated, we know that. Tehri is on Bhagirathi, Koteshwar is also, Maner is, but Ichari Dam bete is on the Tons river, remember. On the Tons river we have the Ichari Dam, so I can show you. So have a look at this, 1972 it was built 50 years ago. It is on the Tons, which is the tributary of Yamuna river. This is the one. So Tons river where we have the Ichari Dam which is situated on the river Tons. So yeah, this is one thing we have to understand. Very basic. So I am hopeful that now these sessions are at least giving you a basic idea that how do we, study about the dams and the rivers. This is important. I'll have a few questions on that. Pong Dam, which is located on a certain river, it is located in which of the following state? Haryana, Punjab, Himachal Pradesh, Jammu. It's very easy question about Pong Dam. Let me give you a hint. On river Beas, we have that, and basically its reservoir is known as Maharana Pratap Sagar. Okay, Pong reservoir is Maharana Pratap Sagar. So it is in the state of Himachal Pradesh. HP Himachal Pradesh, C is going to be the right answer to this question. Is that clear? So that is the Pong Dam. Even Pandor Dam is the same. Pandor Dam is also based on river Beas. We have to be understanding this as well. Easy. Okay. Let me ask you a few questions like that. For example, if I talk about Bansagar Dam, it's located in which of the following state of India? So it is based on Son River. Son River is what it's based on. So it's in which state of India? That's what my question is. Bansagar Dam. Very good. Yeah. Son River is basically tributary of Ganga only. Yeah. It's in Madhya Pradesh. Bansagar is Madhya Pradesh. We have it over there. Very important. Okay, one more question like that. Panchayat Dam. So it's a part of Damodar Valley Corporation. Panchayat Dam. So you got to tell me that like Panchayat, Maitho, Tilaiya, they're all basically nearby only. So they're based where? They're based in Jharkhand. So just for your information, I'm quickly telling you, you should know about these questions also, that in Jharkhand we have this dam located. It is very much important. Is that clear? So I hope now at least you are in a position to understand these questions very much precisely. One more dam, very much important we have for today's class, that is Uri Dam. So tell me, Uri Dam is located on which of the following river? Tell me. Let me tell you, Salal Dam, Baglia Dam, Uri Dam, Pakaldul Dam and Nimmo-Basgo Dam. These are the 5 dams in Jammu and Kashmir which are very much important. So like Baglia Dam is on Chenab, Salal Dam is on Chenab, Pakaldul Dam is on Chenab, but Uri Dam is not on Chenab, that is Uri Dam is on Jhelum. So remember this thing, A is the right answer. ठीक है जी, major dams are on Chenab, I am not denying that. Baglia Dam, Salal Dam, Pakaldul Dam, they are all on Chenab, but Uri Dam is based on Jhelum. So you got to understand that, very much important. So Uri Dam is on Jhelum and every other dam is on Chenab. One dam I would like to tell you, that is Nimmo-Basgo Dam, which is on river Indus. Nimmo-Basgo Dam is on river Indus. We got to talk about this as well. Got it? So I'm hopeful now that you have got a decent idea about how do we answer such kind of questions, which is of course very much important. And today my focus was to just focus on these questions. I'll be bringing more sessions on static GK, one more session in fact. But I hope that you have understood a lot of important ideas, that how do we tackle these kind of the questions. That is the most important thing of all. So I've given you the type of the questions which you get on the static GK, that's one thing. And I hope that you have got a decent idea as well. You've got a bare minimum idea as well on that particular point, that how exactly are we in a position to answer such kind of questions. So that is what the idea was. Got the point? So tomorrow we won't be having any session. On the channel you will be finding various recordings. So different recordings will be coming related to the examination. And on Monday, Sharad sir will be taking up reasoning. Hanji, thank you Kan Khushi, thank you Jagrup, thank you Jasmine, thank you Ankur. So ultimately you just have to understand one thing only, that these sessions are basically designed to help you revise so many things which you can't do that. Problem यही है कि revision नहीं हो पाती students के, so I just bring these sessions for that only. Thank you Rajiv, thank you Vicky, thank you Atul, thank you Prabjot, thank you Anukriti. Means a lot. So you guys give so much support to these initiatives, and this is the reason why we always try to bring more and more initiatives for you. So the very reason why we are doing this initiative is because students want that. Okay, me and Sharad sir have just one focus, that we should help the student achieving their goal. Is that clear? Perfect. So thank you Sukhpreet, thank you Vicky, thank you Kind Khushi, Tanuj, Jagrup, all the people out there, okay, whoever took their time out. So make sure you hit the like button and add this session in your liked videos as well. Thank you Jasmine, thank you so much. So it actually means a lot to me that so many students come in these sessions and they are taking full advantage also from these particular sessions. That this is actually very much important. Chalo, I'm glad it is helping you guys, everyone. So that's, thank you Manav, thank you Atul, thank you Wari. चलो यही चीज होती है बेटे, ये और हमारे लिए यही सबसे बड़ी चीज होती है, that you are getting so much advantage or benefit from these very sessions. Okay, so we have done plenty of the questions in today's session. and just make sure you revise that. You will be getting the PDF on the Telegram itself, so don't worry about the PDF. What is more important is your learning which you have gained from today's session. So thank you so much. Have a great evening everyone. On this note, I'll be wrapping this class up. Thank you so much. Take care everyone. Jai Hind. Bye-bye.